All right, Griz Nation, we are back. This is the Fight on Montana podcast. What we have for you today, guys, we're going to do a recap of some Griz sports that are happening right now. We'll go into the next opponent of the Griz, which is Northern Colorado this weekend, and we'll kind of answer some questions. I know we got some fan questions as well, so we'll go from there. But first of all, Luke, how you doing, man?
I'm doing pretty good. It was a different kind of weekend. It's always trying to find something to do, when the Griz aren't playing. We were talking before. I ended up watching that NDSU South Dakota State game since we had 1 versus 2, and holy cow, those are some good football teams. So we need to.
You definitely have the top 2, and then you have everybody else.
Yeah. If we want to compete, we really need to get our defense cleaned up.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I feel like our offense is there, but boy, defense. So, yeah,
it's going to be interesting. So,
yeah.
Also, you've got that time of year now with injuries too. If the team that can stay the healthiest is going to have a good shot. So
that's absolutely right. That's why I'm glad that we have our bye right now, because when we talked last week, noticeably you could see some guys just favoring some things here. It looked like things were tender and stuff, and so just I think it was a good time to get people healthy and get them in the athletic room and healed up hopefully. So exactly. And then too, going into this game, as we'll talk about it, we should win this game, if we are who we say we are. And so if there are guys banged up, it's a good time to get other people time and stuff. And it's like, man, if you're going to rest somebody, maybe this is a good one to do it. Just if that 1 extra week's going to help them, why not?
Exactly. So. Yeah, I'm kind of expecting, and we can get at that here in a little bit, but I'm kind of expecting to see some guys that we haven't seen, probably on the offensive side of the ball as well. Fontany, I'd expect him probably that he would play. If I'm saying his name right, probably not.
No.
Pinotti. So yeah. But before we get in that game, guys, let's go into some soccer. Soccer played this weekend. Friday, they were in Sacramento, California, playing Sacramento State. They wound up doing a tie 0-0. Today, Sunday, Portland State, they played in Mizzou. They won that one on Senior Day. That was a Senior Day this week. So 1-0 on the weekend, or 1-0 and 1 on the weekend. So they have 2 more games left. They play Friday at Pocatello against Idaho State. If you guys can't get to Pocatello, you can get that game at 4:00 on ESPN+. And then Sunday, they travel down to Ogden, Utah, and that one will be at 1 p.m., and that'll also be on ESPN+ as well. So those are the final 2 games, guys, before we have a little bit of a break. So they get a break, and from Sunday all the way to the following Sunday, and then that Wednesday, November 6th, the Big Sky Conference Tournament quarterfinals start, which most likely the Griz are going to be a number 1 or a number 2 seed.
Yeah, I think they will.
Yeah, they would really have to kind of falter in these last 2 games to not get one of those. Yeah. So you're looking at a November 8th, a Friday game, either at 11 a.m. or a 2 p.m. start.
And again, that's all in Missoula, right?
All in Missoula. Yep.
Yep.
At South Campus Stadium. So, and then they have a break on that Saturday, and then that Sunday is the championship game.
Very cool.
And so whoever wins that gets that automatic qualifier into the national tournament.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right that they do get that auto bid.
Yeah, the auto bid. So,
man, how cool would it be if we pull it off at home? Like, that's just
that'd be so sweet.
Things are setting up for us to do that too, and there's no ties in this either. So.
Yep. Nope. No ties in the championship. So, volleyball. They had a tough weekend again this week, guys. They go to Flagstaff. They lose 0-3, and then they go to Greeley, and they lose 0-3 there as well. They've got an important one this week, Friday. If you guys can get down to Dahlberg, they play the Neighbors at 7 p.m. That's on ESPN Plus, so definitely check that out. Definitely, I will be watching that on ESPN Plus as my computer says it's going to die, so I better plug it in. That would not be good. So definitely go support those ladies. Probably not the season that they wanted, but hey, a win over the rival is good. So.
Well, don't they play for the bell or whatever?
Yeah.
But they play for that little bell. I was there once and they won it, and they get it and they're ringing the heck out of that dang thing. So
yeah. So
nothing like making a season than beating the neighbors. So
I know, right? Well, and it's interesting because their record going into it, the non-conference, it was like, oh, okay, they're 6-13 overall.
Right.
1-7 in the conference. It's just been a very hard time to get wins in the conference schedule. So, but
brutal.
Yeah. So, but what we're going to talk about today, guys, is our next opponent in the Northern Colorado Bears. Going to there. So I know Luke is going to that game, and I'm like, oh, I want to go to that game, but not going to be able to do that this week. But definitely, if you see Luke, give him a high five or go talk to him at the tailgate. So, Luke, you got stuff for the tailgates?
Yeah, I know I brought this up last week, but I noticed a lot of people on some of the Griz fan pages out there and stuff asking like who's going. It looks like there's a lot of people coming down to the game, and then a lot of alumni and stuff in the Colorado area are coming over. So I will definitely be there, heading down on Friday night, and so we'll be at the tailgates bright and early. But again, they have an alumni association putting on a tailgate from 11 to 1. It's in the Michener Library Lawn. I'm sure I'm murdering that name, but so you had till Friday to RSVP for $35 per adult or $15 per youth. You can still get tickets right now. You can even get tickets walking up. They are now $40 per adult and $20 per child. But again, that tailgate is going to have a lunch buffet. It's going to have water and soda, drink tickets that'll be good for beer and wine. There's also a cash bar for additional drinks. They have game day giveaways like pom-pom stickers, other things. And then, of course, the dedicated space for all the Griz fans to gather. We are also putting on a tailgate. A friend of mine is, so I'll be bouncing back and forth there. But, yeah, if you see me there, give me a go, Griz, high five. We can talk or just, we appreciate you listening to the pod. So I love hearing when people get to listen to that. So if you are making your way down, even though this will probably be a shorter pod, listen to us on the way down.
So, or twice or 3 times, exactly. You never know. Well, it just felt weird this weekend without some Griz sports. So we did watch I watched, and I know, Luke, you watched the Weber State game, which I thought was going to be more accurate of where they are because they're playing like their third string quarterback as well, aren't they? That guy from like Colorado Mesa.
Yeah.
I believe that Keone or whatever his name is.
It's Fione. Fione is what I had. I wrote it down. I didn't look him up. He's number 10. And it sounded like they were saying Fione. So yeah, and they do a lot of the run pass option and a lot of running and a lot of quick passes over the middle or to the side. But excuse me, sorry. That's the one thing I noticed with him. Like the first thing I wrote down was he's not very accurate. Like he overthrows a lot.
Yes.
But like he's a good runner. Like
he
does run the ball well. In fact, one of them I was like, oh crap. I was like, you got to wrap him up in the backfield or he'll spin out and run down the field. He did that to Weber a lot where like they were doing this arm tackling crap, which we like to do too at times. And he's shifty and he spun out and there he went. So yeah.
So a little bit about UNC. They're 1-6. They're 1-2 in the conference, just getting their first win at Weber State. They are averaging about 14 points a game. Opponents are getting about 34 with them, which is crazy because I didn't even look at that stat. I just pulled it up, and my score is identical.
Oh, is it? Oh, shoot. Oh, wow. Mine's close to that. Like I think mine's
Mine's 34-14. So that is nuts.
Wow.
Wow. First downs, they are getting a lot more first downs from rushing. 60 of their first downs are going from rushing. They're averaging about 168 yards on the ground, and passing they are getting 126. So they run the ball a whole lot more than they do pass.
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of telling because they're just on their third quarterback. So average for the year 294.6. One thing that's going to be good for us is their kickoff returns and their punt returns aren't that good. Their kick return is about 12 an average. So I think that's good for us. We can get kind of some of the and their punt average is 6. So
that's I was watching their punt.
Yeah.
Like the thing I wrote down, I was like, man, if we can set the wall up, whether it's Junior back there or Deck, there's a heck of a good chance to break one because they're not very disciplined on what they're doing at all. I was like, man, we have an opportunity to like bust one.
Weber almost did that.
They totally
on that first one where that guy went out to across the 50, and I was like, wow.
There's a big opportunity for us there on punt return, and and hopefully we're making them punt a lot this weekend. So.
Exactly. Field goals, they're 3 of 6 on field goals.
Weber blocked one of them too.
They did. Penalties, they're not too bad in penalties. 24.43 on penalties. Their average time, they are kind of holding the ball. They got the ball for 30 minutes, a little over 30 minutes. Third down conversion is not good at all. They're at 31.25%.
I wonder if the reason that they have high time of possession is because everybody scores on them so quick.
It might.
Like sometimes that falsifies it. Like when we were playing Morehead State, our time of possession was down. We were scoring so fast. So.
But the only thing with that is that it would show up on the other end, and it's pretty close. The opponents have the ball for 29-15.
Oh yeah, so it's pretty split. 50,
it is pretty split. Yeah. Their third down conversion's not good, 31%. Their fourth down percentage is pretty good. They're 9 or 8 of 18, so 44%.
Wow. They've gone for it about 18 times on 4.
18 times.
Wow. Holy cow.
Yep. Yeah, that's a lot.
Yeah, that is a lot.
Yeah. So they've lost the ball, fumble 6 times, or lost it 5 times. They've only had 3 sacks this year, which doesn't make really any sense because their defensive line was getting some pressure on Weber State.
Yeah, they were.
Which I was kind of impressed with because I'm like, oh, wow, Weber State's offensive line was pretty good against us until the end of the game. So red zone, they are 10 of 14, which 8 of their 14 have been touchdowns. And so you look at what they have got going, guys, individually. Passing, it's Kaya Kayune. I am horrible. Sorry, guys.
What number
horrible.
is he?
Number 10.
Number 10.
10. Keone? It's got to be Kaya Keone.
That's the quarterback, 10.
Okay.
Are you talking about?
I was going for offense first. Yeah. So he's 55 of 91 for 500 yards, 1 touchdown, and 1 interception. He's only averaging about 100 yards of passing a game.
I'll tell you what, that interception thing, like, because he overthrows.
Yes.
Our guys are there to do tip drill. I mean, there's a lot of opportunities for interceptions and stuff. Yep. If he gets to that, unless all of a sudden becomes accurate, but he hasn't been.
Yeah. So. And then rushing, you've got a stalwart of guys here. You have Darius Stewart,
number 0.
Number 0, who's kind of their all-around back that kind of does everything. 59 carries for 290, 2 touchdowns. He's averaging about 48 yards a game.
So I want to talk about him a little bit.
Yeah.
Brought him up.
Yeah.
So watching him, like, he is a really good runner. Like, he runs
he
hard. But what the best thing that he does is he's really good at following his blocks.
Yeah.
When they'll do a lot of like the sweep plays, or they're pulling their offensive line out.
Mm-hmm.
And he puts his hand on their backs and stuff to help guide them and get them to their blocks. Like, his vision and stuff, like, he's patient. I was impressed. I was really impressed by him. I was like, man, like, I think he's their best offensive player personally. Just watching, like, he's a really good running back, and so we have to be ready for him. Like, he's one that we got to make sure we keep an eye on, I think.
Yeah, I definitely agree. He's 5'9", 195. So, and then you've got the quarterback. He's a runner too. So he's ran 51 times. Yeah. That's crazy for 187. So he's about 37. And then you've got two other guys, Caden,
who's number 1,
and then you've got David Afari. The Afari guy is their bigger back. That was number 1. That was number 1.
Okay.
He's 5'10", 202.
The one thing about 1, like, I was surprised how shifty he was. Like, he's really, like, just watching him. Like, he's big, but he's got good feet and stuff on him.
Yeah. So that was that Afari guy, that number 1. I was really impressed with him.
Yeah.
And he always usually seems to fall forward too.
Yeah, he's good.
So
definitely, I thought they had a good 1-2 punch there. And
with that Stewart and a lot of the guys that they have, I didn't see too much of the Mays or whatever, but I did see Stewart and Afari.
Who's number 27?
That's that Mays guy.
Okay, so the reason he didn't get the ball much is because they run him like a fullback. Like,
okay.
I was like, they basically, when they bring him in, he's basically a fullback. Like,
okay,
when they did give him the ball, like, he reminded me of like Mike Allstott. Like, was just popping people, and it was taking multiple dudes to tackle him. But
because he's 5'10", 212.
Yeah, to me, they like to use him more of that almost fullback position where he's going up trying to blow up the holes in the linebackers. So that's, we got to watch him just because of that. Like, that's mainly what they're going to do, is just try to assist on that second level to bust open the other two guys.
Yep. For receiving guys, Braden, I'm going to say his name wrong. Monroe, and it's Braden Monroe. I thought there's another R in there.
What number is he?
88.
Okay, 88. Yep.
He's got 23 catches for 305, 2 touchdowns. He is kind of like, to me, he's kind of like the safety net for them.
How tall is he?
He's only 6'2". He seemed a lot taller than that.
Okay, because that's what I wrote down. I was like, this guy's a big target. Like, he looked taller than 6'2" to me. Like, I thought he was like 6'3" or 6'4". And he's hard to tackle too. Like, Bieber was having issues tackling him.
Yeah, well, when I saw him at first, because he was catching the ball over the middle a lot.
I thought he was tight end.
That's what I was just going to say. Is I thought he was a tight end at first, because 88 and he was big, and I'm like, wow. So I had to go check, and I'm like, no, he's a wide receiver. So but they do use the tight end, 85.
Okay, Garrison. Is that
Garrison? Charles Garrison, 6'5", 255.
Okay, he looked all of 6'5" too. Like,
he's a big guy.
That's what I go, big target and big boy. I was like, and like, he's got good hands too. Like,
he does.
So that's the one thing, because he, like, 10 likes to overthrow. Well, this guy's so big, he throws it high so he can high point the ball.
Yep.
And he's got good hands to catch it. And and then we needed multiple guys to tackle that big old boy. Like,
and then they've got another tight end that's doing really well. He's 6'7", 245.
Yeah.
Number 19, that Cash Cheeks.
Okay.
He's got 12 catches, 129 yards. And then the Carver Cheeks, they must be brothers.
Must be.
6'2", 210. So they're out of Colorado Springs. So, yeah.
I felt like 10, like, if he can't find anybody, he likes to go to 85, just because he's he's such a big target. It's like, I can just get it to him. And
if you can't get the ball to 88, then they're going to 85.
Those 85, those are his two favorites right there, for sure.
Yep. Or anything on their offense kind of going over.
So the other thing I noticed, like, they like to do a lot of misdirection to try to confuse the linebackers. Again, like, they use they'll have 3 backs there at times, and they'll have people running out, and the quarterback's like trying to, he's doing a little play action, or almost like an RPO, but it almost reminds me of a triple option almost.
Yeah, it does.
Because they're trying to just confuse your linebackers so they'll be out of position and who's got the ball sort of thing. So again, assignment football here. Like if you're assigned to a guy, don't go running the opposite way because that's when they'll bust their plays and stuff. So that was the one note I had is just they really try to do this kind of misdirection crap and then like we said, contain number 10. Like if we go flying in there and we're not wrapping him up, like
And I really think that our defense is not going to have a problem getting pressure on this offensive line. It's not very good, but they do it so well where that quarterback just can run. If we over pursue, we're gonna get killed on that.
Yeah, we can't over pursue. We have to contain. We have to contain.
Yeah. So that's the only way that I think that they're going to kind of stay in this game is if we just keep on over pursuing and that guy has a game just running out. I could see that. But they are not very good offensively, guys. Scoring offense, they're ranked last in the Big Sky out of 12 schools, 14 points. They haven't scored over 100 points in the whole season. They're at 98.
And if people are going, well, I didn't watch the Weber game. How did Weber lose to him? Weber had 5 turnovers.
And 3 of those were on the 3-yard line.
Basically, yeah. Weber had one of those games where it's just like every bad thing that could happen happened. Like
yeah. Well, and it could have been 4 because one of those, the quarterback put it into the running back's hands. The running back didn't even know that it was in his hands. And he let go of it. It bounced right up to Munoz, and he grabbed it and ran it in for a touchdown. I'm like, there could have been another one there.
Oh, yeah, so it could have been 6 total. There's 5 altogether. It could have been 6. Yeah, I mean, it was just – I don't care who you are. You turn the ball over that much, it is hard to win a football game when you have 5 turnovers or more. So yeah.
So their total offensive plays, they're pretty much – they're number 10 out of 12 teams. And so their numbers are a little bit kind of skewed just because they've played 7 games. There's a lot of people that have only, four teams that have played 7 games, and a lot of the Big Sky next week is going to have a break. As we said last podcast where
there's only 3 games next
there's
week.
Like 3 games next week. So, I think that our defense, this should be a get-right game for our defense where we are really working on what we need to do, right? What we need to get better at. Well, it should be a game where we're working on tackling.
And then, we keep talking about we'd like to see some of these other people. Again, there's stuff going on with this Prince Ford. I'm not sure what's happening there.
Yeah.
But I'd like to see him play and, get Loud out there more and, just get more guys experience. So especially if we can get up on these guys, but this is definitely get right for our defense. Like if we, if we're going to do more zone now and more blitzing, let's just, because this is another game or two where the defense doesn't have a really good game. It'll build that confidence too.
Oh yeah, exactly.
It could be a good confidence builder. So I'll be interested this week too. Like since I'm going to be at the game, where we sit is right behind our bench. So you can see everybody, and it's got a track around the dang thing. So, one of them schools. So
one of those.
They have a lot of room there, but the guys and stuff will interact with our fans. But you can also see how everybody's interacting. That's what I'm curious too, because we've been hearing some rumors about people not being as fired up on the sideline. So I'm real curious to see, especially on a road game and stuff like that here at Northern Colorado, where there's not a big, you got to get yourself fired up for this.
Exactly.
And then, too, your locker room's like a mile away for the Griz to the field. So they just, I'm really curious about that. So I'll report back next week to see what I see.
So, what have you played there when you were? I don't think they were a part of the Big Sky.
They were still D2 because actually, Joe, Glenn, our coach, when he came over, he came from Northern Colorado because they were good at D2. They were powerhouse. So
I was just thinking, if it's that far away, why go back? Just stay there.
Yeah, they did last time because I was at the game last time. They were down there and they did walk all the way back to the locker. I mean, I joke, it's not really a mile, but it's a good it's got to be 500 yards away. Like it's a jaunt. Like you go, they leave, exit, they have to cross the parking lot, and then they go down another path, and then it's into this other building. So, yeah,
that's crazy. And that's what pisses me off about, like, you talk about these conference realignment, right?
Yeah.
And like, you've got the neighbors and us and some of these other schools that are putting the work in and
right.
doing what we have to. Like, you've got so many schools at the Big Sky that are not like opponents.
No,
it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
And so
that's like Portland State. I wish they could go back to the field in Portland, like that baseball field that we used to play at.
Yeah.
Instead of this high school field at Hillsboro or whatever they're playing at now. It's too bad. Like,
yeah. Anything else on their offense, man?
No, I mean, I don't think so. It's our defense should have a day. Like they should do well. So
exactly. Their defense.
Yeah.
Their defense. They've got a number 9 that Crayon Lakes is a linebacker. He's their leading tackler at 41. He's got 4 tackles for loss, 1 sack.
So one thing I noticed watching him, like I note that I put down, was RPO should work well on this guy.
Yeah.
He gets faked out easily.
Yeah.
And so like and it's not so much he gets faked out, like he wants to make the play so bad that he'll commit sometimes too hard and get away from his assignment. So,
well, and they're just not, it's not a good defense, guys. It is very much a bend defense and hope that we don't break, because they got really lucky in that game that against Weber State, where they got fumbles and turnovers in the red zone.
Yeah.
You're going to see we're going to be able to run on this team all night.
Yeah.
I would expect some passes over the middle, some play action passes where either Bergen or Harris just take it, right? Like the middle of the field is open, especially when they're trying to guard the run and those linebackers come in. It's not a defense.
They run a lot of man with the corners. Like they run a lot of man, which surprised me. And then number 7, I think, is their best guy, DB.
Number 7.
I don't know his name, but just looking at him, he's really physical at corner and stuff when he is out there at corner.
LaDavian Osborne.
Yeah, but he gets beat.
He does
a lot. Like
he's physical, but he does get beat.
I mean, like he plays the run well, but like, and he's physical, but guys get separation all the time. And I feel like the talent we have there, like you're saying, we should be able to hit some deep balls here for some big scores if we want.
Yeah.
So.
They got that Cam Chappa as well. He's a DB freshman. He's had 38 tackles, half a tackle for loss. Their big guy that they like to get pressure with is Michael Jordan Jr.
Is he number 17?
No, he's number 99. Their big guy.
Okay.
He's got 31 tackles, 3 tackles for loss, and 1 sack. Number 17 is Marcus Howard. He's their defensive line as well that they kind of switch in with.
So I noticed like him, he plays high. Like when I say that, when he comes out of stance, he stands up.
Yep.
And he overruns his contain a lot. Like I saw him chasing a lot. So I was like, man, that's a guy that if we run some of our misdirection, there could be some confusion there, and watch out. Like,
and don't they have him on the outside sometimes too?
They do. Yeah, they're running him out, and they have his like QB contain and stuff.
Yeah.
And you see him chasing. Like a lot.
He's 6'4", 262.
Yeah.
Like you can see him too because he's just so tall.
Yeah, he stands straight up.
It's like a gazelle.
Yeah.
So,
but we should. The other thing, like, so we talk about the front. They run like this, a 3-man front like us.
Yep.
And Adam and I were talking about that because we're like, God, is it the 3-3-5? Is it? They go back and forth. They kind of run a 3-4, 3-3-5 like hybrid thing. Like, it's strange.
It's really weird. Like, and I told Luke, I was like, "Hey, just wanted to let you know, like, get some thoughts. This is what I was saying. Is that what you're saying?" Because they bring in their linebackers too, and then they push them back out, and it's very interesting.
It kind of reminds me of like when Bobby first came in. We were in the 3-3-5. that, and then like I said, like they do a 3-4, but then even two, they'll run like almost a 4 front where they put their guy on a 2-point stand. It's definitely different, but I mean, I don't see us struggling with it at all. No. It's not really confusing. It's just like, well, that's different. So
one, they do bring pressure too.
Yeah.
I think that they know that they're going to get beat, so they know they have to bring pressure.
Yeah.
So I would expect a lot of good. Guys, this is not a good defensive team. Like, expect a lot of yardage, and I think it will be a really good time to get either a new running back in there, new wide receivers in there, get those young guys in there as well.
Well, and that's the thing. Like, we'll get some of the young guys, but like, if anybody's looking for freshmen to play, they're probably not traveling.
Yeah,
because it's a travel game. But
yeah.
But anybody who's on that, that's just younger, that isn't a red shirt, possibly red shirting or actually travels, should play.
Yeah.
So the other thing too, like I think we could do a lot of is having like X and Fonts run their little sweeps that they do and stuff. Those plays should work really well, and we should see big gains out of them. So I'm hoping we see that a lot.
Yep. Even a double pass or something like that for like Bergen throwing.
We've been doing a lot of that, those little trick plays. So I could see more of that. And like the other thing too is like we talked about our run game. If our running backs, like as soon as they get to the second level, we've seen Gilman do this a lot, and even Osmo, they're going to be gone.
Yeah.
So here's the deal too. Like we talked about the injury thing. Like if Gilman, they said he was banged up. Like Riley mentioned that, you could tell he was like. The guy's a warrior, so he's going to keep playing. But, like, if he's at all, like, not 100%,
sit him out.
Sit him. Don't play him like this game. Like, we have a running back room that can do fine. Like, Rocker Jr. would be fine here. Vosmo, if we want to run Fanati some more, like.
But since he's a red shirt, do you think that they'll bring him?
I don't know if they'll bring him or not. Like, see, he's like, since he's played one game, they may not. It'll be interesting to see that, like, if they decide to.
Yeah.
So here's what I think they would bring. If they're like, nope, we're sitting Gilman because you're not 100%, then I bet they do bring him. But if Gilman's coming, then they probably won't. So, I hope that if there's anybody that is all nursing something, like I know the guys want to play, but let's get them healthy.
Exactly. And this is the perfect time because you've got this game, and then you've got Cal Poly the following week.
Which they actually played pretty well against Idaho this last week.
They did.
So
it's just you've got that looming game against UC Davis that's going to be ultra important.
And we can't think about that. We got to win these ones first. So hopefully they're focused. I mean, I think that guys are focused. Like there's nothing like beating the doors off a team and getting yourself mentally back and stuff. And this could be that game. So I complain about our arm tackling a lot. This team is worse than us. Like they love to arm tackle. Like their DBs, they do this Olay kind of thing. And so how physical like our receivers run and how physical our backs run. Like I think about Racanelli, like how hard when he gets the ball and like he plays, and like any of our guys, like they should be breaking tackles. I mean, this could be. Well, you'll see it by my score here in a minute. What I think could happen.
I think Fonts could be a blowout game for him as well. Like I think anyone that's going to be running hard that can beat a guy, because they're going to have a chance to have a great game.
Well, and the other thing, so we should see both Fife and Ayat in this game.
You should,
because of the fact, like, I mean, I'm sure Fife will start. But I think we'll see Ayat in it too, because this should be a game where we're putting up points and you want to get guys playing time.
Yeah.
So I'll be interested to see that, because like I think I was listening to Riley's interview from Houck after the game last week after we beat NAU, and they were talking about Fife and stuff, and all of a sudden Houck mentioned that they wanted to get Ayat in. He said that. He goes, it just didn't happen. But we're still running too. Like he still is bringing that up. So I was surprised there, because I'm kind of like, we've talked about how we feel about Ayat.
Oh yeah.
At the same time, I'm like, look, if Fife's your guy, go with it. Let's go, have him go. Like keep that momentum going and stuff until it breaks. If it's keep running it till it breaks. But in games like this, you should be able to play both. Like we should see a lot of everybody because we should dominate this team. If we really feel like we're
if we don't, we've got
team in the country, we should dominate them. So And besides, we're recording Sunday because I have some school stuff for my daughter on Monday and stuff. We're going to a choir concert, and so we don't have the rankings, but the Jacks lost. Even though they lose, they should either go. I think they should just go to 2. I think
so too. Yeah,
but Nova got beat good.
Oh, it was like 35-7.
35-7 over unranked Maine. Beat them.
Yeah,
and
which the neighbors beat Maine by like 20 points, right?
Yeah, exactly. And then Samford beats unbeaten Mercer 55-35. I was like, whoa. So you got number 5 and number 7 falling. So with that, I expect us to probably move to maybe 9.
I was thinking where they drop 9 range.
Yeah, I think we might run up there. So just thought that was interesting. So
well, and also what looks good for us too, Western Carolina beats Furman, and Cole Gonzalez has a game throwing 620 yards.
Yeah, well, and then
5 touchdowns.
We were talking about this too. Missouri State keeps winning. They're looking good out there. I know they're going to FBS, so they can't be in the AP poll, but they're in the coaches poll last week. So they'll keep moving up. So those things are looking good for us. They're doing what they're doing. So yeah.
Well, and guys, just to let you know, this special teams wise for the Northern Colorado, their punter, he's averaging about 48 yards a punt. So he's getting some good average because he's punting a lot.
That's a lot.
He's got 47 punts. So
that's a lot of fun.
That's a lot of punts. So he's got 18 inside the 20. He's got 17 that are 50 plus yards. Poor guy, his legs got to be really sore.
Or really strong.
Or really strong. He also does their field goals. He's 50% on the year. Anything probably after 30 is kind of sketchy.
Right.
He's 1 of 1 in the 20. 30, it's 1 for 2. 40, he's 0 for 1, and 50 plus, he's 1 for 2. His long's been 53. He also does the kicking duties as well. So same guy, he's averaging about 65 yards a kick. So he's kicking it out of the end zone, 19 touchbacks out of the 26 or 22 times that he's punted. So, and we've kind of gone over the returns. That they're not good. It's not good at all. They've gotten
we should dominate the team. So
we should be okay if we're definitely getting beat on our kickoff return and punt return. Whew, boy, that's not going to be good.
No, that's this is that week where they should really hone in those teams and get them all dialed in and stuff. So
couple Big Sky Conference kind of rankings. A lot of the offensive rankings were either 1 or 2 with the neighbors. Total defense, I already think I told you that they're Northern Colorado is number 10. Scoring defense, they're number 9. So total touchdowns and total offense, they're last. They're last on total offense average, total offense and touchdowns. They're last they're actually number 8 in rushing touchdowns. And they're actually the middle of the pack for rushing offense.
Oh, interesting.
So they're right behind Northern Arizona with that. But you look at rushing defense, they're number 10. They're letting teams 217 yards on them. Yards per rush, they're number 11 with about 3.81 average for yards per rush. It's not good. It's not. No. This is a rough. I really feel bad because I think Lamb is the coach, right?
Ed Lamb's the coach. Yeah, I was gonna say he's a good football coach.
He's a good coach too.
He's got a lot of work to do to get this.
Yeah.
And then too, you think about Northern Colorado, you're competing right there with Colorado and Colorado State, Wyoming, then there's also some good D2 schools right there too. You're competing with all those right there. So that's just it's been difficult for them, but
yeah, I'm just like I'm amazed by some of these numbers. I'm just like, ooh, man, that's not good. Hey, they're number one in something though. They're number one in the number of punts.
Oh, there you go.
They've got 8 more punts than Portland State.
There you go. Special teams player of the week, their punter.
Exactly right. So, other than that, standings, guys, you've got the neighbors that are 4-0, UC Davis 4-0, and then you've got Montana there at 2-1, and then you've got an onslaught of teams that are 2-2 with Idaho, Northern Arizona, Weber State all at 2-2. Then you've got an onslaught of teams that are 1-2 with Sac State, Eastern Washington, and Northern Colorado. And then the bottom of the barrel, Idaho State, Cal Poly, and Portland State are 1-3. Yeah. So, it's Idaho State. I thought would have been a little bit different this year, which I still think they're going to beat up some of the other teams and kind of rise.
Yeah, I mean they're not as. I mean they're playing people close. Like they're not as bad as some like this. Yeah, like Poly and Colorado.
Yeah. So, it's going to be interesting down the stretch what happens here. So, did you want to do predictions? And then I know we have one fan question.
Yeah, no, let's do predictions, and then I've got a shout out too that I want to do.
Okay.
For a young man. So, you already gave your prediction.
30. Yeah, I already gave my prediction because it was right on. I said 34-14. I wanted to go a little bit higher, but I'm just kind of I'm leery about it. Right. I do think we're going to be able to score some points, but I don't know. I'm kind of leery about it.
So versus. So I did my score, and then I did the versus. I was surprised because mine's close. Versus had Griz winning 41-19.
Oh, okay.
My score was Griz 42, UNC 13.
42-13.
Yeah.
Oh, so you're only like a touchdown away from me then.
Yeah, I figure because I was figuring like a touchdown and then a couple field goals probably.
Okay.
Is what they try to fire at them. So, and I really hope watching their offense.
Oh gosh.
Our defense, like if they can step up, they could shut them out.
Yeah.
That could happen.
Yeah.
But we all know how they've been tackling and stuff. So with that, that's why I'm like, well, they could put 13 on us because we needed to step it up. So I'm interested to see, because here's the other thing, and I'm glad we're playing Northern Colorado. Yeah. Notoriously, we've seen this where we come out of a bye and sometimes we have a slow start.
Yeah.
Now, here's the crazy thing, like we talked about, both teams are coming out of a bye. So, I mean, I haven't seen that very often, but it's happening a lot this year because it seems like everybody's bye weeks were either last week or this week.
Exactly.
For the whole sky.
Yep.
So, so both teams are coming off the same thing, a bye week. So they should be healthy, ready to go and studied up on the other team. And
Well, when we only have 3 games next week, guys, you have this game, Montana, Northern Colorado, Sac State at Idaho State, and then you've got a good one. I'm going to watch it. Eastern Washington at Idaho.
Yeah, I plan on watching that because that's evening, isn't it? I think it comes
that's at 6 p.m., yeah.
Yeah, so, well, shoot, all of us Griz fans that are staying there, we will go down to, they got a big old Chicago right there in Greeley.
Oh, there you go.
Down there and go watch it or something.
So that's 6 p.m. Pacific time, so that would be an hour.
7 p.m.
That'd be 7 p.m.
Yeah.
Okay. So you guys can catch all those games on ESPN Plus too. So, and then
should be a good time down there in Greeley. So
that next week though, the neighbors have Eastern Washington.
Oh, do they?
Yeah,
that'll be interesting.
In Cheney.
Because that's kind of like us when you have to go to Cheney.
Yeah,
you never know. So
I'm just looking at some of this. After that, when they got
I was just looking
State, Montana State.
So for everybody going to the game on Saturday, high is 75 and sunny in Greeley.
Ooh,
so it is going to be a nice day down there. That's how it was last time too. We're all wearing t-shirts and stuff and
some shorts.
High at 75, low at 40, and it's supposed to be just sunny down there. So heck yeah, that's nice. An awesome day for football down there.
That's awesome. Well, our only question is from Bridger Lord at BD and Lord.
Hang on, I got one more thing for you.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry,
go ahead.
Let me interrupt you. I just wanted to give a shout out to Riley Martin. He plays D tackle for the Payson Lions down in Utah, and happens to wear the same number I wore when I was playing, number 63. So just wanted to shout out to him. He's having a good season, and we appreciate you listening to the pod and stuff, and keep it up, man.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Thanks, Riley.
Awesome. So Bridger Lord, it says, what is the most egregious normal life event that prevented you from going to a Griz game?
Okay.
Me, well, personally, like me, like since I live so far away, like I have to have like mine like planned. It's not like something where it's like, hey, I should go to the game this weekend. So that to me, it's kind of hard to answer because I don't have really something egregious. It's just like didn't go, or we had a plan that we're going to this one. So
I
bet
do.
You got one though.
I've got 3. So they all correlate with weddings. It seems like it's weddings and
fall weddings.
Again, because I'm living farther away. Same thing though. It's like
2
of them. The guy getting married is a huge Griz fan and alum of the Griz. Out
really?
Here, Brandon. The first time, like he's been married twice now, but the first time it was when we were playing Oregon that game. So it's funny because a bunch of us are watching that game at the reception on our phones, and when he just got remarried, and that one was last year against the Davis game, and we're over on the side watching the game, a bunch of us, and hollering out scores and stuff at the receptions. The cool thing, Kayla, his wife, was totally cool about it, and at one point. Once they won, she went and announced it at the reception. Just so we know the Griz won, and when we beat Davis last year. So, that was really cool. The third one, it was interesting. This one just happened to be it was a wedding during when the Griz were playing Eastern Washington the previous time when we lost, and it was like we were 3 and they were 6 or vice versa.
Oh yeah.
When Grossman almost had that catch
at the end of the game.
Again, it was a wedding. Brandon and I were both at that wedding that time. We were just at the wedding. It was a friend of ours, and we weren't able to watch it because where we were at that game was ESPN2, but we didn't have reception. Well, they had cabins and stuff there, so afterwards the wedding's over, reception's about done, we're just jonesing to find out what's going on. We run to our cabin, we throw the TV on ESPN2, and it's like the last drive. We're like, oh my god. And so we just watched that last drive where Grossman accidentally missed it, and, I was like, but yeah, for some reason, like I know the guys over at GFP Sample, he's been having to go to a bunch of weddings this year.
Yeah.
Those are all right there in Montana. I'm like, man, people should know. Like, it's a big deal. Like, you don't have what's up with the fall weddings? But
spring, summer, those are good times for weddings.
Yeah, that's like the only time it seems like most people, if they have to miss, it tends to do with the wedding thing. Like,
wedding, yeah.
The only other thing I think I had one time. Well, we should have missed was I had gotten tickets to a game, and my daughter had like a play and stuff, and I was like, "Yeah, we're going to the game." I'm like, "Yeah, no, sorry, this is happening. It's already paid for. I'm sorry." So now because of that, I don't book anything.
You're in the doghouse.
Yeah, I don't want her to miss anything. I felt bad about that, so it's like, okay, I don't book stuff during the fall anymore until I know all her stuff for school. So. Yeah. Nice.
Well, I think that's all we got, guys. I know this is kind of a shorter pod.
We're almost at an hour. I mean,
we're almost there.
Since we recapped last time, there's nothing to recap. So
exactly.
Yeah, I just want to say again, like, if any of you that listen are down there, hit me up. Let's, I'll be at the big tailgate, and then, like I said, my friend Brandon. He's coming down. His buddy is doing that other tailgate, and so I'll be bouncing back. I think it's right next to it, possibly. So we'll be bouncing back and forth, and yeah, it's a good time. Like, It's awesome. Fun. The band is right next to our fans. And so
cool.
The band kind of will talk crap and stuff, and they like our players and like that. Last time we were down there, Justin Ford had to get on the bike, like because his knee is bothering him or something, and so the band started chanting, "Ride that bike, ride that bike." It was funny. So, and
that's
then
awesome.
Griz fans, be sure to bring your cash because they do have a bar right underneath the stands, so you can actually be in the stands and have a draft beer and watch the game. It's pretty cool.
See, and this is just my aspect. Like, if we're talking about, conference realignment and money, right? Yeah. There you go. Right?
You want to make a little bit more money. I know that like the Griz added in the south end zone, that little like area you can go have a beer and stuff. Or like I think up in the Canyon Club you can have them, but like, dude, open it up. Like they need to revamp the concessions and just open it up in there. And there you go.
There you go.
I think part of the reason they don't is I think there's some rule, like because I know at Northern Colorado you can't leave, like at halftime. You can't like go back out to the tailgates. You have to stay in there, and that could be something because of that. That maybe that's why they don't do it. I don't know. Like, there's got to be a way to figure that out, though. You could go, or what they could do is do like they did at the Pearl Jam concert and expand the edges all the way through the tailgate. So really, the tailgates are considered inside
the stadium.
Yeah, or that security blanket.
Okay.
So there's got to be a loophole to get around that stuff. So.
Yeah, I think that's going to be the next thing that happens is how to get money. But guys, like we always say, remember to rate, review, and subscribe to the podcast. Give us those 5-star reviews. Also, we want to hear from you. Luke and I do this because it's awesome to get kind of interaction with everybody. We love to hear from you guys. We love to hear how you love the podcast. We get probably 1 or 2 of those a week. Yeah, which is super awesome.
If there's something we could be doing better, we love that feedback too. If you feel like there's something we need to, or if there's something you'd like us to start covering, we can do that too. So
So definitely, I know there's some people that want us to have Sammy Akim on. We'll try to get some things like that going. It's just been super busy. Holy cow, it's been busy.
I don't know. Did you see what Sammy did? Like
I heard about what Sammy did, and I was like, "What in the world is going on?"
There's some people that are not too happy about what he said. So, like, I was really surprised myself that he said that. So,
yeah. He's trying to get his
trying to be a media guy. He's trying to get in there, and he's good at it too. Like he's decent. So like I'd like to see them take him and put Sammy in the booth and get Jay out of there. Have Sammy and Marty up there. Like,
that would be cool.
Yeah, that would be really good. So,
I think that you'd have to kind of switch something, just because they're kind of both. I don't know.
Sammy could do it. Like he could do the play-by-play, but he'd be a good color. But I mean, I think he could do the whole play-by-play thing too if he needed to. So
I think so too.
But cool.
All right. Well, until next week, guys. Go Griz.
Go Griz.